Hey everyone, it's Rashni. I want to finally make a video and let you guys know about my injury that I've been dealing with for the past month, So that's all this video is going to be about. I just woke up and I'm looking crazy. I took my hair down last night out of the style that I did from summer. Finally, yes, and I'm actually going to wash it this afternoon after my doctor's appointment. So that's what it's looking like. I had actually taken the sides down, washed the whole thing, redid the sides and everything a couple weeks ago. So this will definitely help explain why I've been missing in action. It is not just my laptop, but let me get that out of the way real quick. On March 22nd, I think, I dropped my laptop. As I told you guys in my previous video a few weeks ago. And it was out of commission for a month. And so I have it now, it's working. I'm still trying to get everything loaded back on it, and that's taking some time because of time constraints, because I started working, and because of the injuries I'm about to tell you guys about. So let's get to the injuries. On March, well, let me go back. Last October of 2009, I was flag dancing during praise and worship at my church, and I did like a right lateral movement with my foot that way, and I felt a pop in my ankle. It wasn't painful, I just felt something. So I stopped moving my feet as much, kept moving the flags, and I tested to see how my ankle felt, and it felt fine. So I kept flagging. I went on to dance that day in that service, as well as flag and dance in the second service. So 4 different things that day, and I was fine. The next morning when I woke up, I noticed that my ankle felt a little weak. Over the next 2 months, I would sleep with it wrapped up with a, just one of those, you know, ace bandage type things that you put around your ankle. I'd sleep with it like that. And I noticed that it was weak for a while, but then it healed up and it just felt a little stiffer than it did before. So this past January, I was in my Zumba class and I did a similar move to the same side, and I felt the same thing. And of course I thought, great, felt that stupid pop again. So I eased up a little bit in Zumba class, and I went and made an appointment to see an orthopedic doctor, an orthopedist. I went to see the orthopedist. He did an x-ray of my ankle, my right ankle, and saw no damage to the bone. He sent me to get an MRI of my right ankle, which I did, and saw no soft tissue damage. So he pretty much said, well, he can't figure out what it is. Now at the time he mentioned to me, well, I don't know what it is, maybe you could go get physical therapy, but you know, he didn't really push and say you have to go get it, write a prescription for it, nothing. So I, not understanding, said, well, I guess why would I go get physical therapy for something when you tell me nothing's wrong? And I mean, I was still fully functioning, not in pain, no problems whatsoever, except for, obviously, I know that pop feeling is not normal. Now fast forward, March 19th, and the reason I know the date is because I have this YouTube channel and a blog, and I document a lot of things. I actually made a video that exact day saying that I was going to Zumba. So I went to my Zumba class, and I did my one class and I was fine. And then the second class right after that, my friend walks in, and I was like, oh no, I wanted to do, you to come to the class with me. So I decided to stay for the second class. So I did 2 Zumba classes, 2-hour-long Zumba classes in a row, and had no problem. I mean, cardiovascular wise, I was great. I was pumped. I was great, and I felt no problem. Now, the other thing is my sneakers are really, really old. I only own 1 pair of sneakers. Excuse me. I did not have my inserts in them. I have these inserts from a company called Triad. They're like 3/4 inserts from the arch to the heel that I used all the time in my sneakers. I didn't have my inserts in them, and my sneakers are old and a little too big for me. They've always been too big for me. So that was a bad combination, that and 2 Zumba classes. So sometime after that class, sometime in that weekend, I started noticing that my knees and my knees were kind of achy. So I just figured, I mean, I wasn't sure what was going on. I just thought I was sore is what I thought it was, because it still wasn't pain. It was just soreness. So the next week, I actually went and did all my activities. And for all you guys who don't know, I am extremely active. And I did my activities, but I did them kind of gentler. And I went and I got new sneakers. I got jazz sneakers to wear which are made for impact and dancing, so I could wear them, thinking that that was the problem. I also put on my old knee braces, which are too small for me, and I had to go get a new pair, but old knee supports, not braces, but the neoprene supports. And I went. Now that week, I don't remember everything I had to do, but it may have entailed flagging and or dancing at church, potentially. On Sunday. On Mondays, I have dance ministry practice, and I'm the choreographer. On Tuesdays, I took a Zumba class, which is an hour long. It's an exercise class, dance exercise. On Wednesdays, I have ballet and jazz class. Thursdays, I had Zumba. And Friday, I did Zumba again 2 times in a row. Yes, that week, that my legs were bugging me, I did the same thing on Friday. 2 classes in a row. And then Saturdays I used to go skating, but I had actually stopped skating lessons because I was curious about my ankle, because those skates, my skates are heavy. My skates are like 4 pounds each. Anyway, so you guys, by the end of that second week, I was a mess. I was a mess, and that was a bad idea. I was supposed to actually go and choreograph a dance and all the stuff I was supposed to be doing, and I could barely walk. It was horrible. So I actually went and flagged at church on Sunday because I still did not know what the problem was. And obviously I made an appointment to go to the doctor, to see the orthopedic doctor that I'd seen in the past, because this was horrific. At this point, I was having sharp pains in both knees and both ankles. Almost as if somebody had taken a blade, a thick blade, and just shoved it on the inside of both knees and both ankles while I was walking. I couldn't walk. So I couldn't walk, you guys. Now, that will answer the question of how I dropped my laptop. I was on the couch, and I usually have my feet elevated, and I have ice and all this stuff going on, and the laptop was on my lap. So I put my foot down on the floor, trying to hobble around, and I was just so unstable on my legs that the laptop, excuse me, the laptop just hit the floor. It was gone. Now, I didn't really tell you guys about it because I did not think it was going to last that long. I really did not think it was going to last that long, because every other instance of injury I had, it kind of self-healed with little to no pain. This was totally different. So I went to go see the orthopedic doctor. He looks at me and he's like, "Oh my God, you can't walk." Now let me go back. I had actually went that weekend that I had flagged like an idiot and went and got full orthotics to put in my dance shoes, is what I was thinking. Because at this point, I could not work. I was in so much pain, I couldn't explain it to you guys. And the guy at the sneaker store told me that my arches were falling. And basically that was causing the pain on the inside of my knees and ankles like that. And I didn't care what it was. So I put the orthotics on and they felt a lot better. Later on in that week, I think that was actually the week I started work. Horrible. I mean, I was walking like a geisha, you guys. I went and I bought ankle braces. So I had ankle supports that I got from Sports Authority on both ankles. I had knee supports on, orthotics in my shoes, flats, and I still could barely walk like this without ridiculous amounts of pain. I also started taking ibuprofen, and I started taking it based on the bottle at first, but eventually upped the dosage because I went to my primary care physician. So later in that week, after a work week, the first week of work was horrific. I can't even explain to you guys. I couldn't walk up and down stairs. I was scooting up and down the stairs in my house. I could barely take a step. I would go to work and take tuna fish with me, and I would come in, make sure that I stayed on that end of the corridor, and everything I had to do had to just be near my desk. Every meeting, I only did phone calls. I just couldn't do it. I went to Costco one day, and I couldn't even get out of the store. I had to ask this lady to take my cart for me. I was on the verge of tears. So when I went to the orthopedic doctor, he saw me and was like, "Oh my God, what have you done to yourself now?" Because remember, he hadn't seen me since January, and I was walking fine. And I'm like, "What are you talking about? You were supposed to tell me, what we were supposed to work this out a few months ago. So anyway, we had our little thing. So he says, "Well, it looks like I had severe tendonitis, which is inflammation of the tendons in both, remember, both ankles and both knees, the walking, dancing." So I couldn't even walk. Like, I waddled into his office. And at the time, I had remembered that I have these Dansko clogs that I have on my feet. So anyway, I put those on, and these have been a godsend. Ugly as sin. Ugly. These shoes are so ugly, but a godsend. So he sends me to go get a bone scan because he wants to rule out a stress fracture. Bummer. So that was Thursday. I actually had to go out of town on Friday, if you could imagine. So I actually went to see my primary care physician to be monitored with the amount of ibuprofen I was taking. And they told me that I could take the ibuprofen in a higher dose based on the prescription dosage, even though I was buying over the counter. And they gave me the parameters. And then they also told me I could still do naproxen sodium, just don't do them on the same day, and how I can transition blah, 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 because I needed the pain relief and I needed the ibuprofen. And and the anti-inflammatory. You guys, even with the medication, I was still in pain. That's to show you how bad it was. But at least I could walk when I was medicated. So I went out of town, and that was fun and horrible all at the same time, because I had so much fun seeing my friends and everything, but I could not participate in any of the activities, the dancing, the games, nothing. And my right foot swole up. It swole humongous. So first of all, I only took one pair of shoes, and I took another pair, but I wore my clogs the whole time, which you can imagine horrible. My foot swole up like like somebody was baking bread in the shoe. When I came back, I was told that that was probably because I was on my period, strange food in a strange city, and the air in the plane, the air pressure in the plane. But anyway, so that Monday I come back, and my sister-in-law, this lady at church, saw me hobbling around. I was at dance ministry practice to teach people to dance, and I could barely walk. Could you imagine? I actually had a chair with wheels on it to sit in. So this lady at church saw me, and she prayed over me, and she was like, I hope that God will give you the wisdom, you know, that you need for this. And she kind of prayed stuff, and I thought it was a strange prayer, but whatever. It actually makes sense to me now. My sister-in-law gave me a compression sock that she had from when she broke her leg, an unused one that I used on my ankle, my right ankle, to keep it from swelling. So at this point, it had been maybe 3 weeks that this has been going on. So you can imagine I was not ready for all of this. So when I was on that trip, I remembered a friend of mine who had on this this Baltic amber bracelet. And long story short, the bracelet company says that their jewelry helps with pain and inflammation. I had bought some of this stuff last year, and I had kind of discounted it and threw it in a drawer. So when I got home that night, I decided I was going to put on the ankle bracelet that I had bought from the company last year, dug it out of a drawer somewhere, put on the ankle bracelet, put it on the compression sock, and see what happens. Well, the next morning I woke up to go to my bone scan, and I felt great. I felt so great, you guys. I mean, like, usually when I woke up in the morning, I was in so much pain that I could not wait to go get my ibuprofen. I woke up that next morning and was in such shock that I grabbed the 2 bracelets that I had and put them on. And I was going to go to my bone scan without taking medication, but I decided against that because I still wasn't 100% convinced. So that was that. By Wednesday, by the day after, I stopped taking the ibuprofen. But I was also feeling really nauseous, which I'll explain. So I had on these 2 bracelets. I know this is a long story, you guys, but I want you guys to know I have these 2 Baltic amber bracelets, which I will tell you guys about more in a separate video, and 1 ankle bracelet. And I had so much improvement in pain that I stopped taking the 1,800 milligrams of ibuprofen that I was taking, and I was taking 4 naproxens over the whole day, whatever, I think 250 milligrams, 1,000 milligrams of naproxen sodium, right? Okay, so nothing. From that to nothing. Like Monday, druggie. Monday, I was a drug addict. Wednesday, I was fine because I put on some bracelets. So anyway, I went to my orthopedic doctor for the bone scan results. And he was so shocked when I came in his office walking the way I was. Now, I wasn't perfect, but I was better. You know, I was still very hesitant. I still am. I still can't walk properly, you guys. And but it was such an improvement from the person that came in the week before that he told me, 1, that the bone scan showed that there was no stress fracture at all, thank God, in my ankle. So he was just going to treat me for tendonitis. Now, the previous week he had said that he was going to have to give me oral steroids for 6 days, and I really did not want to do that. But by the time I came back in with my magic bracelets and stuff on, he was like, wow, this is so different that I forget the oral steroids. I'm just going to prescribe time and physical therapy, which, thanks be to God, I'm so happy about that, because I just, you know, I'm kind of averse to taking a lot of medications. I know I say that after I just told you I was all hopped up on the Profen, but whatever. I don't like that. So I was happy that that's what he prescribed. I also went to go see my primary care physician for a follow-up and to discuss the bone scan results. And they pretty much told me the same thing. They also told me that I need to get in touch with a podiatrist for ongoing maintenance of my arches and feet, which I did last week, and she is great. I love her. She prescribed an ankle support for my right ankle, that I wear only when I am doing activities, which she has said she wants me to start getting back into doing some of my activities. So I've actually started being a lot more mobile in my dance ministry practice, but nothing else. I still haven't been Zumba, nothing. I haven't done nothing. No ballet, no nothing, no flagging, no dancing. And then I also started with this chiropractor slash alternative medicine chick that this lady at my ballet class recommended. And actually I have an appointment with her in an hour and a half, so I gotta go. And she is interesting. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm gonna keep going to her, but she has given me a lot of information and help, including explaining to me why the bracelets work. So hold on for the next video where I'm actually gonna do a giveaway of these things and explain to you guys the whole situation with the Baltic amber jewelry. But she has been very interesting. So, long story short, you guys, I think I am on week five of my injury. The diagnosis is severe tendonitis in both ankles and knees. I have not been dancing. I have not been doing jazz, ballet, praise dancing, flagging, or Zumba, or roller skating. I haven't been doing anything. I have been sitting and icing my leg. And it's been interesting because without the laptop and without my mobility, life has been very different. But you know what? Here's the thing. God has a purpose. And there are people out there who have no legs. And there are people out there who have no home. And there are people out there who have no job. And I have a home, a husband, a job, 2 legs that God is healing. I have the ability to afford to go and get physical therapy. I'm blessed, so I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to wait on God. And I feel like it was a forced period of rest for me. And I'm thankful for it. I'm coming out of it now, still trying to get my strides. I feel really bad because I feel like I made a partner and, on YouTube, and then all of a sudden, like, I just disappeared. Hey, thanks y'all. But that is not what happened. I mean, God put me on pause. Okay. So, and sometimes, that'll preach, y'all, because sometimes when God, I might do what I learned. Sometimes when God puts you on pause, you need to sit your butt down and rest in his presence. Yes, that will, whoo. Anyway, all right, you guys. So that is the longest story, but I wanted you guys to know. Please continue to pray. I am still wearing these are the Dansko clogs. Yes, my feet are this big. Remember, these are my clogs. So I've had these clogs for years. I rarely wore them, only like to dance ministry practice, to hobble around. These are the only shoes I'm wearing right now because they're the only shoes I can wear comfortably. And I went out and bought a brown pair, not the exact same style, same company. And there's a reason. I'll put the links to a lot of this information in the information box, and to explain like why you can go to their site and read why their shoes are, I can't walk in other shoes right yet. But the doctors are telling me I will be able to wear other shoes eventually soon, and I will be able to wear heels again one of these days. Although I won't be able to do, heels all the time. The podiatrist told me 80-20. So 80% of the time I have to be in one or 2 inch or flat, alternating sensible-ish Archie support type shoes or with orthotics in, and 20% of the time I will be able to wear 4-inch granny boot stilettos, and that's fine, because my objective is to be able to dance and walk. So if at this point I'm not going to be able to wear all the diva shoes, it wasn't like I could find them in my size anyway, so you know what I mean. Now at least I feel a little bit more justified in the fact that I'm wearing some frumpy crap. Some of us don't get to do all that. So all the rest of y'all that have the cute little feet, take care of them, and don't look at somebody bad when you see them wearing some ugly shoes, because they might have a purpose. So anyway, you guys, I'm going to go eat. I ask that all of you guys pray for me. I ask that you guys remember that all things work together for your good to those who love God and who are called by his purpose. And yeah, all things, even when you can't walk and you're a dancer. Okay? I gotta be